The Cleveland Browns have been known for chaos before, but what's happening right now makes all their previous controversies look tame. This isn't a story about a bad game or a losing streak. It's a story about a full-blown organizational implosion that could reshape careers, expose deceit, and send shockwaves through the NFL. The Browns aren't just losing football games anymore, they're losing control of their own narrative. And at the center of it all is one name that has set the sports world on fire: Shedeur Sanders. Over the past few weeks, the Browns' season has unraveled in ways that even their most cynical fans couldn't have predicted. The offense is broken, the locker room is fractured, and the fan base is watching a familiar nightmare play out in real time. Gabriel, the starting quarterback, has looked completely lost, unable to lead the team out of mediocrity. Behind him, Shedeur Sanders, the highly touted young quarterback with all the makings of a future franchise leader, has been mysteriously buried on the depth chart. At first, fans chalked it up to inexperience, to coaching preference, to the slow development curve that sometimes comes with rookies. But then came the moment that changed everything. Head coach Kevin Stefanski told the world that Shedeur Sanders wasn't playing because of a back injury. It sounded simple, believable, and routine, until his mother decided to speak out, and revealed that nothing about that story was true. What happened next turned a quiet rumor into a public scandal. Shedeur's mother, Shedeur Sanders, didn't just dispute the injury claim, she torched it. In a fiery social media post that spread like wildfire across every major sports platform, she accused Stefanski of lying, of fabricating a fake injury to cover up the real reason her son wasn't playing. According to her, Shedeur was perfectly healthy, practiced all week, and was ready to go. The decision to sideline him had nothing to do with his body and everything to do with politics inside the Browns organization. Pilar didn't mince words. She challenged the Browns to produce medical proof of this supposed back issue. Calling the coach's story an outright fabrication meant to protect his own job and narrative. When a player's family publicly challenges a coach like this, it's not a small thing. It's a declaration of war. Shedeur Sanders is not just any parent. She's been around the game for decades, married to Deion Sanders during his playing and coaching days, understanding how NFL politics work better than most fans ever will. She knows what happens behind closed doors, and she knows the line between a coaching decision and a cover-up. So when she went public, it wasn't out of emotion, it was out of conviction. She was drawing a line in the sand for her son's career and reputation. If her claims are true, the implications are staggering. It would mean Kevin Stefanski lied to the media, to ownership, to fans, and perhaps even to the NFL itself. It would mean that Shedeur's reputation has been unfairly tarnished, branded as injury-prone, when in reality, he was healthy and ready to play. And perhaps worst of all, it would mean that the Browns organization deliberately misled everyone involved in order to avoid uncomfortable questions about their quarterback choices. That kind of deception doesn't just create controversy, it destroys trust. The timeline that Pilar laid out paints a picture of quiet deceit. Shedeur reportedly practiced all week without any complaints of back pain. He ran drills, studied film, prepared for the game like any player fighting for his opportunity would. Then, just a day before kickoff, the coaching staff suddenly informed him he would be inactive. No explanation, no prior warning, no indication that anything was wrong. Moments later, the back tightness story appeared in the media, perfectly packaged to sound like a responsible coaching decision. It was a move designed to avoid scrutiny, to calm the press, and to keep the questions at bay. But it backfired spectacularly, because now the entire NFL world is questioning the integrity of the Browns organization. If a head coach is willing to lie about something as fundamental as a player's health, what else might he be willing to lie about? How can players trust anything the staff tells them when one of their own is being used as a scapegoat for bad decisions? Locker rooms survive on honesty, on mutual belief that everyone is pulling in the same direction. When that bond breaks, no game plan can save you. Inside the facility, the mood has reportedly shifted from frustration to open disbelief. Myles Garrett, the team's defensive anchor, has shown visible signs of irritation during media sessions. Other veterans have begun quietly questioning the leadership, wondering how far the dysfunction really goes. Even players who aren't close to Shedeur are said to be disturbed by how the situation was handled. A lie about one player is a message to all players, and that message is loud and clear. If things go wrong, anyone can be sacrificed to protect those in charge. Meanwhile, the Browns front office is in full damage control mode. Owner Jimmy Haslam, no stranger to controversy, is said to be furious about the public backlash. According to reports, he's demanding answers, real ones. What he's hearing from Stefanski's side doesn't match what's coming from Shedeur's camp. Somewhere in the chain of communication, the truth got twisted, and now the franchise's credibility is hanging by a thread. If the investigation confirms that no such injury ever existed, Stefanski's job could be over instantly. No team can afford a head coach who lies to ownership and the public, especially in a league that depends on accurate injury reporting for fairness, integrity, and even betting regulation. The irony of this entire saga is that it could have been avoided so easily. If Stefanski had simply admitted that he chose to bench Shedeur for strategic reasons, the criticism would have been manageable. Fans might not have agreed, but the conversation would have stayed within the boundaries of football. But by reportedly fabricating an injury, the situation escalated into something much darker, something that strikes at the very heart of trust and professionalism. And now, the fallout is spreading. The Sanders family has made it clear that they won't back down. Pilar's posts weren't impulsive. They were deliberate. She's demanding transparency, accountability, and evidence. And she's not alone. Fans, media members, and even former players have joined the chorus, demanding the Browns show proof of their claims. Some former NFL athletes have even shared their own experiences of similar situations, times when teams manipulated injury reports to protect narratives or avoid controversy. It's a dirty secret in football, and this incident might just blow it wide open. For Shedeur, the damage is already done. Even if the Browns clear his name, the trust between him and the coaching staff is shattered. You can't lead a team that's lied about you. You can't stand on the sideline for a coach who uses your reputation as a shield. The best path forward for him might be a trade, a clean slate, a new environment where he can rebuild his name and career without the shadow of deception hanging over him. The Browns, on the other hand, face a lose-lose scenario. If they side with Stefanski, they risk alienating a promising young quarterback and his family, along with countless fans who now see the organization as dishonest. But if they fire him, they confirm to the world that the coach was indeed guilty of deception, an admission that would make the franchise look even more chaotic than it already does. In the middle of all this chaos stands Jimmy Haslam, forced to make a decision that could define his ownership legacy. Does he protect his coach and risk another public scandal, or does he clean house and start fresh, even if it means another rebuild and more years of instability? The Browns have been here before, standing at the crossroads between denial and accountability. Too often they've chosen denial, but this time feels different. This time, the lie isn't just about football, it's about integrity. The Browns can't sweep this under the rug. The NFL can't ignore it either. Injury reports are sacred in this league, affecting not just team strategy, but the integrity of sports betting and player safety. If a coach has been caught falsifying one, the league might be forced to step in. Fines, suspensions, and investigations could follow. The longer the Browns remain silent, the worse it looks.